to the Handicappers, your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. We dive into the world of fantasy football, year long in your DFS payouts. Welcome to the Handicappers as we are getting ready for your fantasy football Sunday. A lot of y'all are drafting today, and so we're going to get you ready with yet another mock draft here. I'm going to go ahead and set it up, see where we're at real quick. We're just a few seconds away from the actual room from opening up. So as soon as it opens up, we'll take you live to that room. I am going to be picking 10th in a 10-man league. We are also going to be going into rankings today. And I'm going to start off with your quarterbacks, your tight ends, your defenses. We'll see if we get to the actual kickers. I mean, joking. We're not doing kickers. We're going to see if we're going to get into the running backs and wide receivers. That might wait until next weekend. But here we go. We are about to get in here. Let me see if I can check on it real quick. It is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and transition us into the screen share. And let's see, as soon as we do this, here we go. There we go. So this is where we're at right here. I've got the 10th pick. Like I said, I'm going to expand this just a little bit so you can see what's going on with my team as well as the other teams that are out there as we get ready here. So I've got the 10th pick in a 10-man league. You know, I'll go back to back. We'll see where that takes us. Typically, I can't imagine I'm going to take a running back because it probably won't be the best player available. But we'll see what happens. If they end up going on a run and picking other positions, then you never know. But I basically just play this by ear. Now, looking at quarterbacks this year, which is where I'll start off on our list. I'm going to start off with the quarterback position. And I know that everybody, and I mean everybody, is out there specifically picking Patrick Mahomes number one. And I get that. Sorry, I dropped something. Okay. So I get that. But with that being said, I kind of want to go against the grain this year. And I really think the number one quarterback in fantasy football this year is going to be Josh Allen. And I know that's not that big of a jump. He is number 2 overall in most leagues. But the reason why I'm betting on him over Mahomes, they simply don't have a running game. And I believe that they have a much better running game in Kansas City. And they will be dedicated to having it. And here we go. The first picks are coming in. I'm going to go ahead and mute that sound so it doesn't bust your eardrums every time that one of those sounds come on. So this is a Yahoo draft. Yahoo's my preferred league, mainly because they do a much better job of keeping things up to date. It's also much more user-friendly. ESPN is just terrible. I don't know why. You would think the worldwide leader in sports would be the best, but they're not. They're the worst. There's 3 main ones that I consider, 4 if you count the NFL Network. The NFL Network, everybody knows that one is just far behind. But NFL Network's not that much worse than ESPN, to be perfectly honest with you. But you're kind of at the mercy of whatever team that you are or whatever commissioner wants. CBS is incredible if you pay for the service. I don't want to pay for the service because it seems kind of stupid. So I always go with Yahoo because Yahoo has the best free service. And so our pick is coming right now. It's our turn to pick. And basically, I'm looking at what's available. Now, I'm a little surprised that Saquon Barkley is available here. So I am going to take Barkley. He should be good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the best receiver available. Now, I'm really torn on this, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Tyreek Hill just because he's such a big playmaker. And so I'll go ahead. I got Hill and I got Barkley. Diggs is high up there on my list. He really is. I know a lot of people have Hill number one. Most of the rankings that I see have Hill number one. They have Devontae Adams 2 or flip-flopped, and then Diggs is 3. I believe that it's Devontae Adams, Hill, and Diggs, and they're really interchangeable. And so we'll get into that when we get into receivers, but I don't think it's a big deal no matter who you end up taking. It really just goes with personal preference. Also, you're looking at who do you already have, or if it's a keeper league, or who you may be looking at who's going to be available when you pick again. So I won't pick again for several picks. So let's go ahead and get into my rankings as you can continue to see this tick away. Now, what I'm looking at right here is the quarterback position after you get Mahomes and Allen, because Mahomes is definitely my number 2. I think it's a no-brainer. You go Kyler Murray. His style of offense, the way he's going to play, and he does have the ability to get you points with his legs too. So I think that's a no-brainer. The number 4, 5, and 6 pick to me are the one more the hell, we'll just say 4 through 7. You could argue it 9 different ways a Sunday, and I couldn't argue against you any step of the way. I'm still going to lean Lamar Jackson in the hopes that he improves his passing game. I don't necessarily believe he's going to, but even if he doesn't, he's so heavily involved in the running game at this point, you can't go wrong. Russell Wilson goes to my number 5. I do believe they're going to let Russell Wilson cook, as they say. I believe Russell Wilson is going to go out there. There'll be more passing. They're going to try to make him happy. And I believe that he should be ranked above Dak Prescott because of Dak's injury. Now, when you hit, it depends on when you draft, but if you hit draft day and you perfectly believe in Dak Prescott and you've seen evidence that he is going to be 100% by game 1, then I would typically lead. I would even have Dak Prescott above Lamar Jackson, but the injury bug concerns me. And anytime a guy's coming off of injury with his leg and now he's out of injury with his arm, that usually means overcompensation. And that can lead to a lot of different issues. And so that worries me a little bit. But he's been so productive, I can't sink him very low. So I've got Wilson at 5, Dak at 6, and then Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, at number 7. You could pick any of those guys, 4, 5, 6, and 7, Jackson, Wilson, Prescott, and Rodgers, and I could definitely see the argument. You wouldn't be wrong going into the preseason. Someone's going to be right at the season's end, but that's a lot of conjecture. That's also, look, we don't have the magic 8 ball, right? So that's what I look at right there. Now, number 8, I have to put Justin Herbert there. There are others that have veteran guys that are a little higher. I'm gonna roll with Herbert. I think he's expected to make a heck of a leap in year 2, and he could be a steal. At the same token, I've got Joe Burrow at number 9. I know a lot of people have Joe Burrow much farther down, but what I saw when he was healthy, he was phenomenal. I'm going to put a pin in this right here because it's about my turn to draft here. So Burrow is my number 9, Herbert my 8. And so it's about to be my pick. We look at my team right here. And you see Tyreek, you see Saquon. We're going to roll over here and see what the best player available is. If CD Lamb is there, I'm definitely going to go Lamb and then maybe add another running back, but he gets taken. I kind of figure he would be. So I'm going to go with the running backs and I'm going to play it safe. I know there's a lot of skepticism on David Montgomery, but I do believe he's going to get the ball. So give me David Montgomery. He was one of the highest scoring running backs in fantasy the last 6 weeks of the season. Now I've got to look at, do I want to go flex or do I want to go to another receiver? I'm not going quarterback at this range. I really think I want to go flex. I think I'm going to go ahead and play it safe and go flex. And I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins because Chris Carson worries me with his inability to be on the field the last couple of years. Now, I don't have him very ranked much below Dobbins, but I do have Dobbins above him. All right, so to finish off the quarterbacks, we finished off at Burrow at number 9. Number 10, I'm going to say it's Jalen Hurts. I know there's a lot of question marks, but his upside is so great. And if you strike out on Jalen Hurts, remember something. There are going to be plenty of quarterbacks that you can go back and stream the rest of the year that won't make a much damn difference. But if Jalen Hurts ends up being special, you'll be kicking yourself in the ass if you drafted Baker Mayfield at that spot. Because Mayfield, we know what his floor is. We know what his ceiling is. We don't know what the ceiling is for Hurts. So give me Hurts at number 10. Matt Stafford's my number 11 guy. I think he's going to have a big year. I'm tempted to put him even above Hurts and Burrow, but he is an older quarterback, and he is coming to a new system, and there may be some learning curves, but by the end of the year, I think Stafford will be a top 10 quarterback. Number 12, playing it safe with Mayfield, along with number 13, Tannehill. Why the hell not? You know these guys are going to put up numbers every week. You don't have to sweat about it. And my number 14 guy, playing it safe once again, Tom Brady. We know that Brady is not going to be the guy that goes out and lays duds, but he typically doesn't tear the roof off of anything either. So I'm going to put Brady at number 14. And my number 15, this is a guy I'm willing to take a chance on. I don't want him as a starter, but I would like to see him. I'll give you a couple of guys that I would like to see them in the conversation as your backup. And you can flip these guys around any way you want. Trevor Lawrence of the Jaguars, it's going to be a bad team playing from behind. Zach Wilson of the Jets, same damn thing. If you've seen this kid throw, he can light it up. And then Justin Fields would be the other caveat. He's going to be on a much better team. He might have a better record, but not be as big fantasy-wise. Though a lot does go run through his legs, they don't want that kid out there running around and getting banged up. So you got to take that into consideration. So I'm going to put at number 15, all three of those rookies, whoever the hell you like, whoever you want to see, whoever you want on your team, he's worth a backup. We slide over the tight ends as it comes up to my pick. Remember, I'm already right here. I've got Hill, Saquon, Montgomery, and Dobbins. So I'm going to need a receiver coming up on this next round. And tight end, really easy. Kelsey's your number 1. That offense runs through him, and it's a dynamic offense. Number 2, most have Waller, and I understand it. But I like George Kittle, just a hair above Waller. But either one, to be perfectly honest with you, either one. They're both excellent when they're healthy. And if Kittle can stay healthy and if Waller can stay healthy, their numbers probably won't vary very much. And honestly, David Carr is not much of a step below whoever they're going to play at quarterback in San Francisco. He's right there. He's a decent quarterback. He's not outstanding, but he's a decent quarterback. We'll put a pin in the number 3 as I'm about ready to pick. Seeing what's coming up here. I need a receiver. I see that Lockett is sitting there. I see that Ayuk is sitting there. There's some interesting picks that could be there as well. But I'm looking at the tight end. And the tight end position, since we're talking about it, I'm going to go ahead and do this. My top 4 are gone. Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, and Hawkinson. They're all gone. I'm not the Mark Andrews fan that everyone else is. So I'm going to go ahead and take Kyle Pitts here. Kyle Pitts, the rookie out of the University of Florida. I'm going to go ahead and take him there. And so that leaves me still needing a receiver. And I really think I need to address that and not punt it another day. I'm a little concerned with Julio Jones. I know Adam Thielen is money. Brandon Ayuk is very tempting, but I want some solid production because of where I'm at in the draft. I'm going to go ahead and take Thielen because I know he won't disappoint, and I know I don't have to be concerned with whether or not they're going to try to get the ball to him. He's the guy they look for on the end zone as well. So that's what my team looks like right now. You've got Tyreek Hill, Adam Thielen, Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery, Pitts, and Dobbins. A pretty darn good start. It'll be a while before I pick again, so let's get back into the tight ends. And the tight ends, I said it just a second ago, Hawkinson is my number 4 tight end. I think the offense is going to run through him. I really do. And he's going to be a good security blanket for Jared Goff. So that's why I like Hawkinson. I know a lot of people are overreaching for Pitts. A lot of people have Andrews above him, but I like Hawkinson at number 4. I put Pitts just barely above Andrews. Look, Pitts is a big gamble. And if you want a for sure thing, go ahead and grab Andrews. But I'd be willing to bet on Pitts's ceiling over Andrews' ceiling because we know that they like to run the ball more than pass. They're going to be throwing the ball in Atlanta, that's for sure. If Atlanta's not throwing the ball, I'd be shocked because I don't think that defense is worth a damn. And so I always have to take the team into consideration, not just the player. So after Andrews at number 6, Logan Thomas is my 7th guy, my 7th tight end. I know it's a little higher than most, but here's the reason why. It's not that I think he's that great. It's the fact that I'm worried about the others. Noah Fant has been inconsistent of being on the field. He's my number 8. Higbee, the tight end, has known to be forgotten about in that Los Angeles offense. There are weeks where he's going to do great. There's weeks where he's going to do terrible. At the end, you're going to see his total number, and it's going to be, oh, he had a pretty good year, but you're going to have some droughts, and that's what's going to kill you. I hate having droughts at a position. Gesicki, same situation in Miami. I do believe Gesicki's going to have a better year, but I can't advise you and say, yes, go out there and grab Gesicki above the number 10 slot because I've got concerns. Robert Tunyon's my number 11 guy. Aaron Rodgers liked him. And if Aaron Rodgers likes you, he's going to make room for you in the offense. And then Irv Smith he's worth a shot. Minnesota looks for the tight end in the end zone. So I definitely like the opportunity there. And then I know everyone's like, where's Goddard? Where's Goddard? He's number 13 for me. And Ertz is number 14 because Ertz was hurt most of the year last year. And I really think that if the two of them are healthy, you're going to see both of them splitting time, and it's going to drive you boo-bats. They've already talked about how Ertz is the first guy out there to practice, the last guy out there to practice. He knows this is his walk year. He's going to go out there and try to outperform everybody, including Goddard. I think it's going to be a situation where they're both going to get decent amount of work because the wide receiver situation is terrible in Philadelphia. And we don't know we're going to get out of that quarterback, but I've got Ertz at number 14. And you want to throw a fly on the wall? You want to throw a dart at the wall? Cole Kmet, number 15, and tied with him would be Anthony Firkser of the Titans. Firkser's going to get some work, but he's going to be forgotten. There's so many weapons with that Tennessee offense. There's going to be weeks where he's forgotten, but they like to work the tight end into that offense. And Cole Kmet, I just think, is an athletic beast and could be ready to break out this year. We'll get into defenses after I make my picks here in a second. We're going into round 7 or at the end of round 7. I still don't have a quarterback and everything else is filled with me. So I'm going to go to the quarterbacks and see who I've got normally. And with all this sitting around here, I'd probably punt it, but I'm going to go ahead and take a quarterback here. And I'm going to take the NFL MVP, the guy who's number 7 on my board. Give me Aaron Rodgers. I know what I'm going to get from that guy every damn weekend. I don't have to sweat it. He's Aaron Rodgers. They're going to throw the ball. So now I want to find my best flex. Now I've got 3 running backs, 2 receivers. I think I need to lean more at the receiver range than I do at the running back range. So let me go to wide receiver, the best receiver available. It's probably Robbie Anderson, but I like Courtland Sutton. So go and get Courtland Sutton. That gives me some depth at wide receiver. And look, if he's not ready to go by week 1, I've got Thielen, I've got Hill. It's no skin off my back. So looking at my team right now, I've got Aaron Rodgers, I've got Tyreek Hill, Adam Thielen, Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery, Kyle Pitts, J.K. Dobbins, and Courtland Sutton. It's a pretty darn good start as we get to when the picks come back around for me. I'm going to be looking for depth on my bench. I don't go defense until much later in the draft. Let 5 other morons draft defenses in the 9th and 10th round. I know they fall in love with them. And I play in leagues where I've designed the scoring system. I play in leagues where defenses are important. But you can find defenses, y'all. You can absolutely find defenses at the end of the draft. You can stream them until someone sticks. And kickers, if you draft one before the last round, you're just a moron. There's no reason to have a damn kicker. In fact, some of our leagues, I've actually left out the kickers this year just to see how everyone likes it. I'm sure some will hate and some will like it. But just wanted to play around with that. But kickers are as interchangeable because you're just looking for the perfect situation on that day. And you cannot know that a guy is going to kick 7 field goals. It's impossible because that offense has to do really well and then stall in the red zone 7 times. You know how difficult that is to predict that? Or 4 field goals or 2 field goals. You can have a kicker on a hell of an offense. And you're like, well, this sucks. He got me 4 points because they scored 6 touchdowns and went for 2 twice. And you're never going to keep the kicker during your bye week. You're always going to drop them. You're going to stream some other guy. So what the hell is the point of wasting a pick until a kicker? All right, so we're coming back around here, mine in a second. We're going to start with the defenses. The defense that I like the most this year, just because it went leaps and bounds, and this is an example of how you can find defenses, is the Washington football team. I'm going off the basis of yards they give up, points they give up, sacks, interceptions, the whole 9 yards. Now, if you're just in a league where it only counts if they score touchdowns, that's a crapshoot anyways. But if real statistics are involved in your leagues, this is what I'm referring to. Washington football team, number 1. Number 2, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champs. I do believe that they are as good as we saw last year. But that Washington defense, as great as it was, just got a little better. So I have to side with Washington. And I'm also going with the theory that the hunger is there. The hunger may not be there for Tampa. We don't know. We think it will be. They've got Tom Brady. We think it will be, but who the hell knows? You go out there, you win the Super Bowl, get a little complacent, party a little too much. Who knows if that same team's going to show up on game day? Number 3 is the Baltimore Ravens, not only because they have a pretty sturdy defense, it's their style of play. They're going to keep their defense off the field, so I like having the Ravens. The only caveat that I worry about with Washington football team this year is with Fitzpatrick, they're going to air it out more, so will that defense be on more? All right, it's back to my pick again. I'm going to go back to the flex, and I've got an even amount of running backs and wide receivers. I am going to go ahead and grab, I'm a little torn here, but I'm going to go ahead and take Damian Harris just because I know he's the starter at running back. And I feel like I need to get another wide receiver because I'm kind of thin with my depth. Now you got Schuster, Judy, Claypool. I already have Cortland Sutton, so I think I'm going to grab. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab Tyler Boyd here. I kind of want to grab Judy. That way I know I've got one or the other, but at the same token, that's not going to be a very dynamic offense. So you get two receivers on the Denver offense, you might really be painting yourself into a corner. All right, back to the defenses. We talked about Tampa Bay being 2, Washington being 1, and the Ravens being 3. My number 4 defense is the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Los Angeles Rams will have a solid defense. They shouldn't be a bunch of 3 and outs, so their defense should be fresh. And they can bring pressure on the quarterback, meaning sacks, meaning interceptions, etc. My number 5 defense is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the steel curtain. Their defense ought to be a little better this year. They were outstanding beginning of the season, and they wore down. I think they'll be a little better this year. And then the 49ers are 6th, and New England is 7th. I know that's higher than a lot of teams, but they had 6 guys opt out for the Patriots last year. 6 guys. You have 6 guys opt out. You get them back. That's going to affect your team in a positive way this year. And it's Belichick. I'm not betting against Belichick because the other defenses that I have ranked behind them, nothing jumps out at me. I'll put the Colts at number 8 because of the talent there, but it concerns me that we don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. So if they get terrible quarterback play, that defense is going to wear down. The Saints are at number 9, same situation. But I do believe Peyton knows how to game plan games when he doesn't expect to win it on the scoreboard, meaning when Breeze started to slow down, when Breeze was injured and they had Teddy Bridgewater in there, he found ways to lean on his defense. And so that's why I have the Saints at number 9. 10 is Denver. They get Von Miller back. That is huge. This is a good defense anyways. I think Denver is easily in your top 10. And the number 11, I like the Cleveland Browns and what they're doing this year. I really believe that they have some real opportunities to take that next level. They very well may be your division champs. And look, don't count out the fact that Cleveland could represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They weren't that far away from doing it last year. They almost beat Kansas City in Kansas City. Now, I don't know if they would have beaten Buffalo in the AFC title game. I believe that game would have been in Buffalo, but it damn sure wouldn't have been a gimme. The Bears are my number 12. Minnesota comes in at number 13. Once again, I think they're going to get healthy this year, and they're going to be a much better defense. And then I'm going to take a chance on the Giants. I think the Giants could have an opportunity to be decent. They made some additions, and they're going to be willing to lean on those additions because that offense is not going to be anything to write home about. They're going to win games ugly. The Kansas City Chiefs, I know most have them ranked much higher, but if you're going to be talking about giving up yards and giving up points as a part of your criteria, I'd be weary of having the Chiefs because their offense doesn't spend much time on the field, which means their defense will. And eventually they might win by 20, but they might give up 30, and I don't want that on my roster. All right, it's coming back to me. We got Aaron Rodgers, Tyreek Hill, Adam Thielen, Barkley, Montgomery, Pitts, and Dobbins. Good starting lineup in a 10-man league. And so these are my guys on my bench. I got two wide receivers and a running back. It's coming back to me. And I'm going to look at the fact that we've got a few more rounds. See what we have left in the tight end area. I think I'll leave that around. Give me my quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and grab Joe Burrow at quarterback. I believe I'll go ahead and take him as the as my backup quarterback. I don't always do backup quarterbacks, but I do like the fact that he's there. Now, running backs, Zach Moss is still the starter in Buffalo, and the fact that there's a starting running back left on the board, I can't turn him away. So I'm going to go ahead and take Moss, even though I don't expect a whole hell of a lot from that running game in Buffalo. You're also talking about a guy who's deep on my bench. I mean, this guy is he's two running backs deep on my bench, three if you count the Dobbins as the flex. So it'll be coming back to me in a minute, and when it does, I'll have one guy left on my bench, a kicker and a defense. We'll just do the bench guy and the defense. No one gives a damn about the kicker. And we'll put a pin on this. Programming reminder, we will be back next week on Sunday, September 5th to do another one of these. That point, I'm going to do wide receivers and running backs. I know a lot of people's draft day is that day. I had to do most of mine today because we're going to be out of town. So that's why it's split up a little bit, but we will be here for you next week. And then starting on the 12th, we'll be here 10 a.m. to noon every Sunday doing fantasy football, and we're going to be picking against the spread. So if you're here to make money, this is the place for you. The Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube will be here every Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon. If you're into college football, we're going to be on at 8:30 every Saturday morning, just like we are during the week. And we're going to be talking SEC, ACC. And the last part of the show, like the last half hour, we're going to do Big Ten. So it's going to be SEC and ACC to kick it off, and then we'll dive into the Big Ten to finish it off. And we'll be talking spreads there. What games do you want to bet on there? So that should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. It's the hardest part of the year for me, but it's also my most enjoyable part of the year. I love doing the football shows, getting everyone ready for the morning. And this will be, I believe this is 5 years in a row that we have done the kickoff shows. Dixie Football Nation has been around a little longer than the NFL one. The NFL one, we were honestly just doing pick'ems for the longest time. And then it just kind of grew. And this year it's going to be a full 2-hour kickoff show. Because it's funny because me and the guys we talk about all the time afterwards, we're like, we can never get to everything. And so this year I've got 4 guys that'll be here regularly with me. So it'll be a 5-man crew, 2 on the beginning and 2 on the end. And then I got a couple others that are wanting to contribute as well. So that should be a lot of fun. About a 63% win percentage against the spread. Can't beat that. All right, so my picks coming up, looking at all the players available, looking at my team, Rodgers, Hill, Thielen, Barkley, Montgomery, Pitts, Dobbins, and then my bench, I've got 2 receivers on my bench, 2 running backs on my bench, and a quarterback. Now I'm going to look at this real quick. Is there a tight end worth grabbing? Not really. This junk here will be here at the end of the drafts. I'm going to go ahead and grab my defense. So it gives me a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and grab New England since I had them higher up on my picks than everyone else. And I'm going to go to my flex. I'm just going to pick the best flex available. The guy that I think has the chance to be. I'm not carrying 2 Buffalo running backs. No way in hell. So I'm looking at the other guys that are available, and I'll do a homer pick. I'll do Marvin Jones Jr. of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He should have some opportunities. I think he'll probably be inconsistent, and it's going to be difficult to start him, but he'll be a nice guy to have depending on the matchups and depending on my bye weeks is how I look at it. I'll go ahead and put a couple of guys in my queue on the tight end because on the kicker, because nobody gives a damn about a kicker. But I would go ahead and put Blankenship, Suckup, Gould. All these guys are good. Prater, I've always been a big Prater fan. And it's enough. I don't really care what they draft me into. But long story short, this is what my team looks like before the final pick, because the kicker doesn't matter. I've got Rodgers and Hill and Thielen, Barkley and Montgomery, Pitts, Dobbins, Sutton, Harris, Boyd, Burrow, Zach Moss, and Marvin Jones. And honestly, I wouldn't be too upset with that team. New England is the defense. I could take that team into a real season, and I think I could have some really good success with that. In a 10-man league, I guarantee you the other teams aren't going to stack up, and I would have a fighting chance to at least compete for the championship. And that's all you care about, because once the season gets going, it's going to be up to you to be on that waiver wire, because the draft is the most fun part of the season. But the week-to-week grind of going and making sure you make your pickups, and who should I pick up and who should I start, that's what wins you the title, not the damn draft. The draft just gets you. The draft is about half of it. The other half is the actual hard work that goes in place. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share screen there. And there you have that. Going to go ahead and get out of here because, I got drafts to do myself. Y'all have a great Sunday, and we will see you next Sunday at 10 a.m. again. There'll be another drop, and appreciate you watching the Handicappers. We'll be going full board 10 a.m. to noon, starting opening weekend of the National Football League. You want to be here if you want to know how to make money, both on against the spread and how to win your damn fantasy leagues. We'll see you.